Hello guys, and welcome to Library Astro. In today's video, I'll be discussing the series going by the name of Skulduggery Pleasant. This series is a fantasy novel as well as adventure. As you would expect, it has magic in it since it's fantasy based, and I will be taking you through the world of Skulduggery Pleasant. I'll take you through how things work in that world, how it operates, the rule sets, and all that good stuff, and any other interesting stuff that you might want to know. And if by the end of this video you're interested and you feel like it will be an interesting read, you then can go and give it a go. Now, I will first start with the names. How names work in this world. There are three categories of names within this world, in a manner of speaking. There's the name you're born with. There's a name you are given. And then there's a name you take. You take a name, that's what they call it. Now, mortals and sorcerers. There's mortals and sorcerers in this world, and each of everyone have a name that they are born with, aka their true name. Now, within the true name, if a sorcerer was to discover the true name or the name they're born with, they will become immensely powerful, providing that no one else knows their true name. If somebody knows their true name, that person can control them, strip away their free will, make them do practically anything, and they can't do anything about it. They're literally slaves. Now, to stop that, a sorcerer has to seal their name, which is not an easy task. It's shown in this world only specific people in the world know how to do it, and you need a lot of contacts to be able to find that person that can seal your name. And you probably don't want to go in alone. You want to go with someone you trust, just in case this person that tried to seal your true name turns on you. So yeah. And then there's taken name. No, sorry, given name. These are the names you're given by your parents, your guardians, and so on. This name, for sorcerers, if you have a given name, but you have yet to take a taken name, you can easily be influenced. Not completely controlled, like if they knew your true name, but nonetheless influence you in some type of way. But this influence can wane. So say if they step out of the room, your own thoughts start to come back to you. Your mind gets less foggy, then you can escape. But if they're within your vicinity, they can influence you to do things. They can tell you, don't do this, don't do that, and you'll be obliged to obey. Your impulses will be commanded by what they're telling you to do. Now, there's also take your name. That's the name you take, which will seal your given name. Yeah. So once you take a name, no one can longer have control over you through your given name. So most sorcerers, every sorcerer, have a taken name. However, in every rule there's an exception. So there's one sorcerer within the series that does not have a name. Yeah, and he was a very powerful sorcerer without a name. Yeah. So there's always exceptions to the rule. The next up is the magical disciplines of this world. The first one and the most simplest one is elemental, which consists of what you would expect really: water, fire, air, and earth. Now, apart from earth, all those other three are fine to use. Earth is used as a last defense, as a last resort. So say someone's about to kill you and you have no way of getting out, and you're on the ground. Your best bet, if you want to live, is to use earth, and which will result in turning you into stone. So whatever object they have, once you're stone, it's gonna hurt you. The downside of this magic is you don't know when you will not be a statue anymore, basically. So it could take days, weeks, months, years, millennia. You just never know. But the bright side is once you awaken, you're the same age you were from when you turned yourself into stone. So that's the plus side. So 2 against 1. So you're in good hands. And then there's adept. Adept is anything that's not elemental. Yeah. Anything creative, anything you can think of, any random magic you can think of. Knowing all languages in the world, being able to speak to ants, anything. Let me go to something more powerful. Being able to teleport. That's adept. Being able to read minds, visions, all those things is adept. So anything that's not elemental is an adept. And then there's magically ambidextrous or multidextrous individuals. These people can basically, let me just go back. So every sorcerer, by the time they turn either 18 or 20, so around that time, they go through something called a surge. Now, a surge seals your magic. So before you go for a surge, every sorcerer is encouraged to be efficient at one magic, and in their mind have to say to themselves, this is the magic I wish to uphold once I go through my surge. Because once you go for your surge, you can no longer do any magic apart from the magic you chose before the surge, unless of course you are magically ambidextrous or multidextrous. If you're magically ambidextrous or multidextrous, you are able to switch discipline after your surge. So if you say you were an elemental and you decide, let me learn and some adept discipline, I want to be able to teleport as well. There you go. You're now a teleporter too. You learn to teleport. So now you're an elemental with teleportation magic. Yeah. So, and then there's multidextrous, where you can do more than 2 magic. These individuals are more rare. Yeah, way more rare. The ambidextrous, you see quite a bit of them within the series. But with multidextrous, really, really rare. You don't see a lot of them. You hear about them, but you don't see a lot of them. Sorcerers that are multidextrous, for example, would be sorcerers classified as witches. Witches are really powerful, and their magic, basically where they get their magic from, isn't really explained. It's not really discovered. They're a weird bunch. They can do strange abilities. Yeah. So there's those individuals. And within the discipline, there are people who are born with a set of discipline, so it's locked, so they can't do anything else no matter what they try, because they're born with that particular magical ability. And these particular magical abilities can be an adept discipline or an elemental discipline. So for example, there was a character who had lightning, which is an elemental thing. So, but he could only do lightning. That's what he was born with. Now, to add insult to injury, and a powerful elemental magic user can learn to do lightning too. If they're powerful enough, they can learn it. And then you have someone who was born with a I'll call it a sub magic of earth manipulation. So this individual could crack walls and walk through it, crack the pavement and dip through it, and emerge somewhere else in a different location, whether nearby or far away. It was kind of like earth teleportation, if you want to call it that. However, a character noticed before he goes through walls or down the pavement, the rocks are moving, basically the cement is moving. So he theorized this is probably an earth discipline, a subset of an earth discipline, and him being quite an efficient elemental magic user learned this sub-discipline. So, and he didn't have to lose anything, because some people that are born with certain locked sub-disciplines, some of them are disfigured. So kind of like the theory of evolution. So this individual that could go through walls and stuff like that, he had no eyes, because why would you need eyes when you're burrowing through underground in the dark? You don't need eyes, do you? However, a powerful elemental can learn his magic and still have his eyes. but then again, they'll probably have to wear glasses or some specially made goggles to be able to see in those dark underground stuff, because I can imagine it's not going to be pleasant burrowing underground and having all that rubble fly through your eyes and the dust and breathing in disgusting fumes. Yeah, so there's that. And yeah, and with magic, the way it works in this world is very combative. So you don't see a lot of spell casting. The only time you see spell casting is when they creating barriers of something, or like creating a barrier or getting a reflection. So let's say if someone wants to live a double life, then that's what they do, a spell where they get a reflection to live their life while they're going to do something else. That's one of the few times you see a spell. There's not many spells. It's more combative. I would compare it to sci-fi, the way the fight scenes go, really, because no one's casting spells but just throwing things at you, and if you're not physically capable to dodge those things, you're finished. And that comes, and this is where I mentioned martial arts. Martial arts seem to be quite important here, because quite a few characters can throw them hands. So magic is not the most reliable thing here. Having a gun is an assurance. It's shown many few times. There's characters where they're immune to, say, fire, so you throw fireballs at them, it's not gonna do anything. Just shoot them, and that works because they flee after they get shot. That's a different type of firepower that they weren't expecting. And there's also, I forgot to mention, drawbacks for certain magic. So for example, if someone makes themselves fireproof, if you push them in a large body of water, they disintegrate because they become unusually allergic to water, and they just sizzle and they're gone. Yeah, so some magics have huge repercussions. There is some magic that powerful, but not that powerful for it to justify the repercussions. One of those magic is gist magic. So gist magic is based on the emotions of an individual, their love, their hate, everything, every emotions. So with that emotion, they create a gist. So this gist has all those emotions, and it pops out of them, and it has like a astral projection string, sort of. So it pops out of them. It looks just like them, but it has longer hair, it's faster, longer claws, aggressive. It has no mind of its own. Well, yeah, it does, but it's like a slave, really, because the user just makes it go and take on multiple opponents. I would compare their speed to be that of vampires. Yes, vampires exist in this world. I'll get to that. They're quite fast. They got strong claws. They can take on multiple enemies all at once, but the user can't keep it out for too long, because once they get exhausted, if they can't pull it back in, they just will put them in. Yeah, that's the double-edged sword right there. They just will put them back to the gist itself, and they just will be the dominant personality. And once they gist the dominant personality, it just goes on a rampage. So you don't want that. And less experienced sorcerers with this gist magic can't use it too often, and I'm not sure how one can train for it. It was never really stated, but it's pretty cool. But I don't think it justifies I don't think it's that powerful. I haven't seen it do too much for it to justify the repercussion for using it. And going back to the martial arts, yes, so you see a lot if you're a martial art lover, especially if you're a fan of those old Hong Kong movies, or even the new ones from the 2000s and 2010s. You'll love this. There's a lot of those type of martial arts, a lot of skills. If you're into MMA, you'll love this too. There's judo throws, there's takedowns, ground and pound, elbows. Yeah, good stuff. And it's all combined with magic. Someone might throw a fireball, you dodge. They push the arrow, you walk through it. If it's not strong enough, you walk through the air, and then they meet you with a elbow, a knee, a flying kick. Yeah, when you're reading these scenes, they're quite exciting. So there's that. So Infinite Martial Arts, there's that. Now, you're probably wondering, cool, they have magic in this world, but what is the source? Every world has a source of something where magic comes from. In this world, no one really knows the source of magic. There's speculations. Some say the true name is where the source of magic comes from. But the problem with that theory is, why don't mortals have magic, since they also possess a true name? Some say it was this race of gods that used to enslave mankind, who somehow leaked out their magic to humans. So there's that theory as well. So back in the day, within this world, there were the first magicians, the first sorcerers, called the Asians. They were slaves to these gods who came from a different dimension. And dimension in this book, in this series, is defined as a universe. They came from a different universe where they weren't tearing everything up, killed everything, and they wanted more places to conquer, and they found our universe, and they came here and they enslaved mankind. The Asians, who were the first to use magic, didn't like that very much, so their will for freedom and to escape these angry gods that hate us, they decided to create a weapon and infuse their will into it. And this weapon was able to drive back those gods to a different dimension, a different universe, a different world. Yeah, they drove them far away. And then of course they turned on themselves for greed, and they fought against each other. You know how humans go. But yeah, the Asians were the first to use magic. And then there's creatures and gods. There's actually multiple gods in this series. Yeah, multiple gods who live in different dimensions. All of them equally insane. Yeah, they all have they're all kind of based on the, how should I say, the Abrahamic characteristic of gods, or maybe even Aztecs gods. They're very angry and they like sacrifices and they love to torture mankind, and they have a set of rules that you must do for them to grant you a favor and so forth, and those things are never nice. So there's gods, and they all reside in different dimension, and sometimes they're around each other. And there was a deity called Gog Magog within this series. His power was basically influencing people. That's what he does. He influences you and he makes you his follower. And other gods didn't like this because he was taking all the followers. He just kept influencing people. So they killed him and trapped him somewhere. No, they didn't kill him. They just cut him in pieces and spread his things here, his pieces about. Yeah, they didn't like him very much. So yeah, gods do have conflicts. They fight against each other. There were even a war once between a group of gods who have a completely different philosophy. In my eyes, I didn't really see it as that different, but I guess to them it was different. It was different enough for them to have a war. So yeah, there's gods, and then there's creatures. There's creatures that are anti-magic. So these creatures, magic don't work against them. No one knows why, where they got these properties from. Magic just does not work. Even if you try to use a physical attack fueled by magic, it's not gonna work. You gotta use your own physical prowess. So don't go there thinking, okay, I'm gonna fuel my fist and then hit them so hard they'll feel the power of God. No, because it's magically powered. So even if you make it physical, since it's powered by magic, it's not gonna work, and they'll devour you easily. No sorcerer can mess with them, even if you know your true name. Just you can't make them disappear. No, you can't. It's not gonna work. They just look at you like, what you gonna do? You cannot. And then there's creatures that most creatures in this series don't really have origin. No one knows where they come from. So, all of them have abilities. There's a creature who is spring-heeled. He can bounce off walls, jump crazy, and he got one sub-abilities where he can, on a moving vehicle, he can just step out and stand there like nothing happened. Whereas a normal sorcerer will get their feet mangled completely. So there's that, and there's goblins. Yes, there's goblins. There's vampires too. Yes, there's vampires. There's wolves, but werewolves. Werewolves are due to extinction within the series because, unlike vampires, they don't, for some reason, they have morals. They don't want to spread the disease. Whereas vampires don't really care. They want to survive, and they turn other people to vampires. Sorry. Yeah. There's those creatures. There's sea hags. Yeah, there's sea hags. There's mermaids. Yeah. What else are there? There's a few creatures. Too many to name. But yeah, they have their creatures. Some more powerful than others. And as I've shown, there's multiverses. There's multiverses as well. There's different worlds. So by different worlds, I mean, say a different galaxy where there's life. those places could have magic of their own too, as shown in the series. Some of those places have magic, technology, everything like that. Just or more as advanced to planet Earth. There's many things. Yeah. So if you feel like this was an interesting summary of the series and you like the world which the author has built, by the author's name is Landy, Derek, Landy, Landy. But if you type the series Skulduggery Pleasant, his name will come up. He's the only one that title you won't see it anywhere else. It's a completely unique title, so you'll see it. He's the only one that has written in a book with a name like that. Yeah, so if you feel like this is your sort of book, go and give it a read. Yeah, thank you for listening, and I'll see you next time when I discuss a different story, a different series or book. Bye.